QC.
What's good, y'all? Girl Fats. Hope you guys are doing well. Today we have an amazing special guest in the building. He is a singer, songwriter, and a former Bkchat cast member as well. And if you guys know, you know he is an online personality as well. We have the amazing Adreyn Cash in the building.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. First off, can I just say, I'm so thankful that you're here because I know you're so busy, and for you to take time out of your schedule, I really appreciate it.
I just appreciate you for showing me love, so I'm appreciative, man.
I want to say a massive congratulations on all of your success. You know, you're doing big things, you know, from working with the Mobo Awards, working with BuzzFeed, launching a new haircare line, new music, so much going
man.
on. So much has changed since you've left Bkchat.
Yeah. You know what? Life has been, it's been a progression. It's been a progression. And I think for some people, they like to see things just move like that very quickly. For me, I've been very timed, you know, it's been very slow, but you know, we're finally starting to see the fruits of my labor. So it's one of those things I'm thankful for. I'm very humble. To 5 years after the fact to still be, you know, even doing anything, you know, because time, you know, people can forget you, but 5 years later and I'm still here. So we thank God for that.
First off, you're unforgettable. You've given us
Amen.
some viral moments, some high moments. You've given us all. You've taken us on your journey with you. And it's been so inspiring to see your growth. When you look back on your journey, do you feel like, damn, it's been a roller coaster, but we made it through. We actually made it through.
100.
Despite everything, we actually did it.
100%. 100%. It's not been a secret that my Bkchat journey was not the easiest, I will say.
No.
And there was times where, and I think this is true for every creative, you get to a time where you kind of you're frustrated, you're tired, you know, you don't really know what the next step is. But yeah, and you know what, if I'm completely honest, sometimes I don't even realize where I am or what I've done. It's it's people that are around me that's bro, do you realize? And I'm like, actually I don't, because I'm always just kind of looking forward, you know.
You're always on the go, you know.
Yeah.
So I want to take it back just a little bit, because you know, at what point did you realize, you know what, I'm gonna take this seriously? I'm gonna leave the corporate world and I'm gonna go out there and make this happen. I know I'm destined for more. I know I'm gifted.
So after, you know, it's a good thing you said corporate world. So I was working in the corporate world. This is shortly before Bkchat. And I wasn't, I mean, I was earning good money, but I didn't have the time to do music. I didn't have the time to do anything creative. And so I remember December 2016, I said, you know what, I'm gonna quit. That's when the bus driving started in January. And I quit in December, and in January, literally the same week I started training to be a bus driver is the same week that I got Bkchat. And my career has just been up ever since. I feel like that decision to say, you know what, I actually believe in myself, happened in 2016, because I was just tired, man. I you know, it's not always about money. Sometimes you have to realize what makes you happy, and I realized that working in corporate was just not really me. And so I made that sacrifice to do the bus driving thing, but I'm glad that I did. And I won't ever look back, because, you know, I've been able to actually, a lot of the things I said I was going to do, I did, you know, doing Bkchat, releasing my EP, you know, doing numbers on that, building, as you said, my social media presence, and just kind of consistently upgrading, you know, kind of keeping my eyes focused on the goal, and just not looking back.
Before you went on to the show, did you know have you watched the show previously? Did you know what kind of show you was getting into?
I'd watched the show. I'd seen a couple of episodes. I was late to the party, so I think before I went to the before I went to the auditions, I might have seen 2 episodes because I felt like I wanted to catch up. But I remember the 2 episodes that I did see. Um, I was like, I need to be on that show because I just didn't feel like there was anybody to represent my train of thought.
Yeah.
And you know, when I said it, it was just, you know, the act of manifestation in a sense. Like I said it, I was like, that show needs me. I just kept saying that. I was like, that show needs me. Then one day somebody sent me like some audition that they were having, and they were like, bro, you said you always wanted to be on the show, so you know, do it. And I was like, okay. So I remember going, and I did the audition, and yeah, you know, it's one of those moments where it was like I didn't feel fear when I was at the audition. Like I just did it. I was like, yo, you know what? I'm just gonna give the best of me in this moment. And it just so happens that we went through all the stages, and yeah, I was called through to be on the show.
And then you went onto the show. You did season 2, you did season 3, and you did season 4. If you look back on your journey, do you feel like Bkchat has opened a lot of doors for you? Do you think it helped your career?
You know, I've had this conversation with many people, and I think one thing about Bkchat is it's an opportunity. And with any opportunity, it's kind of like a double-edged sword. You know, you can get the good and you can get the bad. And I think a lot of it is about perception. You know, I knew who I was and I knew what I wanted to accomplish in life. And so, regardless of kind of the backlash or the negativity or the positivity, I was going to turn that into something that would be beneficial for me. And so 100%, the show came with positives, the show came with negatives. But outside of that, what it gave me was a platform. And once I had that platform, I turned it into what I wanted it to be, you know? So 100%, I will give praises to where it's due. So yeah, it did.
I watched a previous interview and you mentioned the fact that you don't like watching the previous episodes. Why is that? Is it one of them ones where you feel like I've outgrown the show and if I watch it back, it's just going to bring back some bad feelings? Like,
without going too deep into why I can't personally watch the shows, it's a couple of things. I think I watch the show from a different perspective as the viewer. So I watched the show from a perspective of remembering how the conversations went, remembering what leads up to those conversations, remembering how I feel or felt in those moments, you know, leading up to certain conversations. And for me, as I said, my first season, I think everybody knows this, it was very traumatic in a way. And watching certain episodes back, it, in a sense, I'm reliving certain traumas. And yeah, I just choose not to watch those back because yeah, you look back and you're like, rah, I remember that day, I remember what led up to that, I remember why, you know, so yeah, I choose not to kind of relive those memories.
And is it one of them ones like, obviously you're not on the show anymore and it's like, you know what, I want to fully focus on my music career now. Like, I'm grateful for the platform, I'm grateful for what it's done for me, and I just want to focus on my music career. You know, I just want to elevate and evolve, right?
Yeah, you know, ultimately it's about growth, you know, and I think being able to grow is a beautiful thing, you know. So yeah, sometimes growth means that you don't need to look back. So I'm thankful for everything that's come from that show, you know. But yeah, I just personally can't really watch it back. I'm just in a space in my life right now where I look back and I'm like, yeah, that person is so much different to me now. And sometimes it's hard to watch. There's some episodes I can watch. But yeah, I don't make it a habit of watching it, if I'm honest.
Have you watched the current season 5? Have you catched up at all? No, none at all. Like, wow, crazy.
And that's no shade to them. Like, shout out to them, they're doing their thing.
Yeah.
But again, it's about forward movement. You know what I mean? And on top of that, I'll be very much lying if I said that um, I'm in the frame of mind where that kind of content um, pleases me. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I've gotten to a stage where I can't really watch reality TV even anymore because I'm just not in that place where I can watch like, Love and Hip Hop or whatever.
Yeah.
I just can't really watch those anymore. I'm not at that space in my life anymore. So
let's talk about your music. You recently dropped a single. I know it's not hard. First off, the vocals, the visuals, that's
thank
Sean.
you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Take us through the journey, like take us through the process, like how long did it take to create that single? Take us through the process when you made the visuals, the song. We want to know.
That song actually is crazy because I remember it's a song that I wrote when I literally just finished university. So that was about 2014.
Oh, okay.
I was working in corporate and I remember I was working and the song kind of just it fell into my lap from my brain. So I just wrote it down. And over the years it was always something I was like, I really like this song. But I just never did anything with it. The EP came out before and it just didn't fit, so I didn't bother. But then during Corona, I started working with a new producer, like a co-producer, named Bkchat. And I remember the song, and I was like, okay, let me just record it and just see, So I recorded it and sent it over to him. He finished the co-production, and I remember when I heard it back, I was like, okay, this is dope. I sent it to a few people and like, no, bro, this is it. I had a vision for the sound because obviously it was such a long time between when I'd written it and when I started producing it. So I wanted to update it, and I remember being very heavily influenced by Neo at the time.
Okay.
And I was like, I want like a Neo kind of vibe in terms of the way that the instruments move. And Bkchat just helped me bring that to life, as well as Hypertone. He's another co-producer on there. The visuals, that was my directorial debut. Like I've always had a hand in every video that I've done, but with this one, I kind of wanted to show a relationship that was just in two different places. And so in the video, you have the girl on one side and you have the guy on one side, and essentially what that means is they're in the same space but they're on different time scales. So even in the way that we move, like there's a lot of choral movement in there where we're literally like walking around the same room, we're almost touching, we're almost in the same frame doing the same things. It's because everything in us wants it to work, but for some strange reason it just doesn't work, and that's what I wanted to portray on the video. I wanted to, and then the meaning behind the song is, I know it's not hard to love. So it's one of those ones where it's like the video never comes to a conclusion as to who isn't doing enough to actually be in the same space at the same time. It kind of lingers the idea that both parties, they're working but they're not working hard enough, and so that's really what I wanted to portray in the video.
Before that, you also dropped Killshot. What was the inspiration behind making that single and the visual as well? Because I know you did come out with the visual as well, you singing and you and the microphone. Like it was just very simple, but it was very creative as well. So take us through that as well.
So Killshot. So Illusions, I think, was a project that was kind of surrounding heartbreak and all the kind of different elements that come with that. Whether it's happy heartbreak, it's falling in love, it's like really sad heartbreak. Killshot was kind of a play on Angel's Lie. So Angel's Lie was about not blaming anybody. It was about, both of us let go. It was very kind of a mutual end to a relationship. Whereas Killshot is kind of the complete opposite to that. It's you hurt me, you're the fault, you're the blame, I'm taking back my love. So it was very much more blame. It was like, you're the problem here, not me, you know? And I remember actually that song was not even written for me. Like, I remember when I wrote it, it was because a company had asked me, I can't say the name of the company, but they basically asked me to write a song for their female artist.
Okay.
And so I'd written it, I produced it, and then I sent it over to them. Long story short, they just didn't want to pay, but we're not even going to get into that. So I decided, based on the demo, I was like, you know what, actually, I'm going to drop the song. This is shortly before The Weeknd kind of came out with After Hours? The
Okay.
After Hours project. So it was shortly before he came out with kind of the 80s kind of synth pop, but I was really, really into like the 80s synth pop sound that was kind of coming up. It was bubbling under. And so I was really, really inspired by a group called The Midnight. And so I knew that I wanted like an 80s synth pop type thing. I just knew, right? So that's why I produced it in the way. Taylor Swift also was a big part of that because she has a song called You Are in Love.
Okay.
And the way that I built the progression of the song was kind of similar to how Taylor Swift did that song, is because it's literally 4 chords, and then you have on top of those 4 chords kind of this arpeggiated melody that just goes back and forth. But then the beauty of the song is kind of how it builds and drops and builds and drops, you know? Even though the chords are literally doing the same thing all the way throughout, you know, the vocals build and then they drop, and then, do you know what I mean? So that was so inspirational for me, because I was like, I wanted to do a song that kind of uses that same technique of simple chords, but then builds and drops and builds and drops. Because of Corona, I didn't get to really push the song as much as I wanted to, because I released it during lockdown. But the song did, you know, extremely well.
Yeah.
And then I was reached out to a company by a company called Project Liquid, and they were like, "Yo, bro, you know, we love the song. You don't have the visuals for it. We'd love to do something." So they came up with the concept, you know, very simplistic, very kind of artistic, and that's how that came about.
And it was amazing. I'm not gonna lie, because I remember when it was lockdown, I was like, okay, Adreyn, this is fire. I must say, like, even with your other visuals, especially when it comes to like Breathe, like you're like, it's just the art behind it. Like, it's just mad. It's crazy. Like, where do you get your inspiration from? Like, who is it that you look up to when it comes to like your visual?
You know what? So for Breathe, I love the fact that you brought that up, because that video was kind of, so that one, it was based on something that actually happened to me in real life. So, and it was actually, funny enough, I was gonna make a TikTok video about it anyway. But basically, there was a time in 2014 when I was in Canada, and I had a spiritual kind of intervention in a club. Like, it was crazy. I remember being in the club with my cousins and my friends was over there in Canada, and we was listening to Hot N-Word by Bobby Shmurda. We was in the club, and as I'm in the club and we're dancing, it's like I was transported to a whole different realm. And I heard a voice say to me, like, pray for protection. I shit you not. It said, pray for protection. And then as soon as it said it, like, I was back in the club again. And nobody noticed, but everybody was still dancing. And I was thinking, what the hell just happened? I prayed in the club. Like, I stopped and I prayed in the club. Long story short, when we left the club, we were shot at. And the bullet that was supposed to hit me, it's such a long story, but basically I was supposed to be killed that night. No, honestly, I was supposed to be dead. Because not only did a bullet nearly hit me, but then after the person pushed me out of the way of the bullet, when I landed on the floor, a car nearly reversed over my head and somebody else pulled me out of the way. So I remember when Breathe came out, and I was like, okay, I need to do a video. So we were sitting there with the videographer, and I was like, okay, I want to base it off this spiritual connection that I had in the club. And so that's why you see kind of this ethereal, beautiful black queen enter, and then by the end of the video, she's taken me to a whole nother dimension, because it's literally just about something that happened to me in Canada. It's mad.
But then what happened to the other person that when
Oh, so basically, quickly, on the night, because I'm British, I wear fitted clothes.
Okay.
In Canada, all of them don't wear fitted clothes. They wear kind of loose clothes. This was 2014, so that was at the time. I'm not sure if it's changed now. But that night I came out and I was wearing like these fitted clothes, and everybody turned and they were like, okay, you're wearing fitted, we're gonna wear fitted too. So they went and they changed and they were wearing fitted. So apart from one guy was like, yo, that's just not my style. So when we was after the club, we'd gone to the parking lot, and me, my cousin, and my other, so me and two of my cousins, and then one of our friends from the area, we were just standing there, and I remember I heard the sounds of the bullet go off, but it didn't sound like bullets. It sounded like, in the Caribbean we call it clappers, in Jamaica we call it clappers. It's like fireworks, but it's not the big ones. It's like these little kind of fireworks that they put in tins or whatever. But it sounded like fireworks in a sense, and then I was like, you people let like fireworks off outside of a club? I was so confused. And they looked at me and they was like, what? I was like, don't you hear that? The minute we heard it, they realized that obviously people were shooting at us, like directly at us. So everybody's like dropped to the floor, but I've kind of gone down in kind of a fetal position but upright. And then I felt like somebody kicked me to the side, right? When I landed on the floor, I opened my eyes and I looked up, and the car was literally like right there, and somebody pulled me out of the way. But basically the person that kicked me was the guy that on that night decided that he wasn't going to wear fitted. He wore the baggy, so as he's kicked me, the bullet kind of went through his jeans and ricocheted onto the car and went somewhere else.
Oh my god, this is so
crazy stuff, right?
This is like a movie.
It's crazy.
You lived it as a movie, like.
No, honestly, and I shit you not, like this shit happened. There was a news report in the Canadian press. And you know what? Funny enough, there was a really big YouTuber called Jay Richards that was there. There was quite a few Canadian YouTubers. It's quite a few of them. All of them were there in the club that night. And since that day, he's followed me because I tweeted him, and I was like, Jay Richards, I didn't even get to meet you because of the shooting, and he followed me straight back. So yeah, like it's crazy stuff.
And you've literally used that and turned it into your music,
into art, 100%.
Into art, yeah. It's just crazy. It's crazy. You know, Adreyn, like when it comes to the fashion, you don't disappoint. Do you have a stylist, or do you style yourself? Like, where do you get your inspiration from when it comes to your fashion? Because sometimes I'll be looking at your pictures, I'll be looking at your music videos. I'm like, damn, I would need Adreyn to style me because he looks good.
So I just grew up in a very liberal family in terms of fashion and in terms of just creativity. Like my mother loves clothes. My family, like they love expression, they're creatives, they love fashion. So I was always raised to just be like free and just be open-minded. And growing up, I was very much interested in like, as a, being a creative, I was just very much interested in like high fashion, runway, that kind of stuff, like modeling. So I mean, for me, I don't have a stylist. I remember trying to work with one many years ago, and it just didn't work. I think for me, I just know how to style me, and I'm not afraid to kind of try things. Like if I try it and it doesn't look good, then whatever. But I think for me, it's just the confidence to see something and be like, you know what, I like that. Let me try that. This works for me. Let me try that. And understanding your body, understanding your skin. I understand my skin well, so I know the colors that work for me, and I know the colors that don't necessarily work for me. So yeah, I don't have a specific art in how I do it. I'm just like, okay, cool. If like for example the I know it's not hard video, uh it just ended up being that one outfit because I remembered I planned a few, but then I was in there and I was just like, you know what? It's a very open color, like like the color of the blazer and stuff. I was just like, it's a very open color, it's a very neutral color, it's a very pure color, and I thought, you know, let's not conflate it too much and you know do too much. For the Angels live video again, it was just black because it matched the kind of idea of the song, kind of a darkness in a sense. But then it just matched like the location, you know. Yeah, so you know, I try to keep it simple but to the point. You know, I try not to be too over the top with it, but yeah, I don't have a specific
More
science
like
to
less
how I
is
do that.
more kind of
Yeah, I'm
thing.
a big minimalist. You see, Pinterest
Oh
is a
yes.
wonderful app. I will say that because you'll go on there and it will just show you this wealth of like art and creativity, and you know, you can really look, like for me, I'll go on there, I'll be like, oh, I like these, I like that, I like that, and then you know, I just find kind of my common ground in between kind of all of that.
Yeah, we love that. We love that. Even right now, listen, you didn't come to play. I know it's simple, but it still looks good. Like I'm feeling the whole look today, Adreyn, for real.
Thank you.
The next thing that I've been dying to speak on is your new venture. A massive congratulations on your new hair care line. Take
Thank
us
you.
through the process. What made you want to start your new hair care line? What does the products consist of?
So hair has always been like a very important part of me. It's something that you know, they say hair is your beauty. So for me, I've always just been in love with my hair. I've always been in love with hair care. And you know, I think being on like a show like Backchat, people have seen like my journey, you know, from kind of the afro that I had on Backchat all the way to now
The
that
first
what my hair
episode.
is. Yeah. So and you know, it's weird because I never really added hair into my brand as such. I
Okay.
just kind of looked at hair as an accessory, but because it was just there, people were like, "Oh my gosh, your hair, your hair, your hair." And it's always been my dream to kind of have my own hair care line. And I remember um during Corona, a lady that my aunt does her hair, who's now one of my closest family friends and a business partner.
Okay.
She runs a kind of a beard care company called the
Okay.
Alchemy Remedy. Um, and we sat down and she was like, yo, like I can help you manufacture this. So she was like, so over the years I've always been using like, you know, avocado oils, you know, all of these things and just making natural things at home for my hair.
Yeah.
So I sat down and I was like, you know, things like avocado, amla oil, rosemary oil, peppermint oil, ginger, all of these things have always been a part of my hair care naturally. And I wanted to create a product that um and let me say this because I think it's important. I think in the natural hair community, we there's a lot of kind of texturism. Um there's a lot of texturism because people kind of they do natural hair because they believe that a product can take you from a 4C to a 3A or from a 4C to a 3B or whatever the case may be, right? So you have a lot of products that focus on defining your hair temporarily. So you'll get these really nice curls that will last for like a day or until they're dry, right?
Yeah.
Um, but a lot of these products are not filled with the stuff that will help you to maintain hair, help you to, you know, actually nourish your hair for a long time. And so that was something for me, not necessarily the definition of the hair in this particular product that we're launching straight away, but the maintenance to ensure that we're actually protecting the hair from breakage, we're encouraging the hair to grow. So our rejuvenating scalp oil has things like amla oil, peppermint oil, ginger oil, rosemary oil, all of these things to bring blood flow to the scalp to encourage growth. You have like in the leave-in conditioner, those things are, you have like blue marine algae, which is something that is filled with fatty acids, that literally helps the elasticity of the hair and fights against breakage. You have Jamaican black castor oil, again, that is something that we know, you know, is just, it fortifies the hair, it strengthens the hair. So these products have been painstakingly researched to make sure that they actually do what they do, and it's something that I'm mad passionate about because it worked. We're in 2019, just before the pandemic. I went on a cruise with my family, and when I came back, I actually picked up a fungal scalp infection from like the jacuzzi. So there was a period in 2019 where my hair was breaking. So in 2020, when I had the opportunity to create this product, I wasn't just creating it because I wanted to sell it to people, to say, oh yeah, you know, because my hair looks like this, take my product. No, this is a product that I tested every single batch leading to what it is. I tested the first batch, the second batch. I literally tested all the way up till now. Because if it works for me, I can guarantee that it work for you. And you know, the way that my hair has flourished after the breakage that it went through in 2020 and 2021, using this product for me has helped with, you know, the retention of hair, the growth, and just the overall health and the shine and the beauty of my hair.
Yeah, and you can see as well, like a lot of work has gone into it. And can you just confirm, is it for men and women?
It's for everyone.
Okay.
I know that the Brother's Choice name, it conflates it, and I've had this since the day I decided to call it that. But the reason why I called it that is because I'm looking at it from a family perspective. I'm your brother, and I'll always have the best intentions for you. So when it's Brother's Choice, it's your brother's choice because we have the best intentions for your hair.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Honestly, I am so excited for this. Massive congratulations once again. When is the official launch? Let the people know.
Saturday the 5th, like it lit one day.
Yes.
Shout out to all the people that are showing love, that's following the Instagram page, that's signing up to the mailing list. Your 15% is secured. And just, you know, as with every venture, you know, when I left corporate and decided to go and pursue entertainment, I'm aware that nothing grows overnight. So I'm not, you know, launching this business expecting 1 million orders on day one. I know that is something that I'm going to grow with, you know. And for me, because I am passionate about hair care, and again, it's not about just taking people's money. You know, it's not about putting a product out there that's stacked filled with, you know, fillers, because there's a lot of product out there that is just filled with these things that just fill the space, right?
Yeah.
But the effect that they do to your hair is just very short. My product, I ensure that everything that I use actually, you know, helps your hair on a long term. So yeah, I'm excited about it.
Other than being a singer, a songwriter, and launching your new hair care line, Adreyn, you are a character. Like, your TikTok videos are just hilarious. You have me howling every single time I'm watching your videos. Is it one of them ones where you just pick up your phone and you start talking, or you plan your videos? Because it comes off so natural.
You know what? I don't plan. I don't plan. And I think that's why my videos don't come out as frequently as other content creators. And I get hounded on it so much. It's like, my mom, why don't you make a TikTok, make more TikTok, go on live. And for me, it's like, I don't consider myself like a natural comedian in terms of, you know, there's people who are comedians, right? So like their goal in life is to just be a comedian. My goal in life has never really to be a comedian. It's just something that I kind of stumbled on. And a
Yeah.
big part of that is because one day my mom was like, you know, see, you're actually really funny. Like you have to make
You're
you
so
have to make YouTube video. And when she said it the first time, I was like, I'm not really trying to do YouTube videos. It's not really me. But then I tested it out on my stories one day, just randomly. You know, I was driving the bus one day, and my mom's voice came into my head saying, "You have to make YouTube videos." So I made just a quick little snapshot on Instagram
yeah.
Reels, not Reels, on stories, and I started to get like mad feedback from it. So then I was like, oh, someone like this. I was like, then cool, well, we can do more. But I try to focus more on actual things that happen as opposed to fake stuff, because I find for me personally, like, I'm not really good at faking stories. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm gonna sit there and like make up a story with the intention of making people laugh, I just feel like, number one, I'm not gonna enjoy it, and then if I don't enjoy it, then I can't imagine that the people on the other side are gonna really enjoy it that
Yeah.
much. But you know what? It's one of those ones where it's like when I did start to go viral, my mom was like, "See, I'ma tell you, long time I tell you," and I'm like, "Yeah, cool." But you know what? It's just another part of me, you know. It's just a natural part of me. Like everybody know me. Like my friends know. Like I'm just good vibes in it. Like when my people around me, I want people to laugh. I just want people for free. Like the world is heavy enough. You know what I mean? Like I just want people for free. So that's really how it happened. It's not like I was like, yeah, let me conquer the world being a comedian. It just happened kind of thing. So I'm happy when people watch my videos and they find joy from it, because you know
No,
it's just.
literally, you have me on the floor. Like your content, your bus chronicles, your work chronicles have me on the floor. Like they're so relatable. That's the thing. They're so relatable, and I feel like, especially with the bus chronicles, I'm sure a lot of people have been on the bus and have seen a lot of things that goes down. So I feel like it's so funny. And then the fact that you embrace, your accent and patois, it's just it makes it even more funnier.
And you know what? I just wanted to address that quickly,
Yeah.
because I get a lot of comments like, "Why didn't you speak in patois and Bkchat?" And the reality of the situation is, I think, as a first generation immigrant to this country, I think for me, I spent a long time trying to blend in. Following Bkchat, I've been like, over the last 5 years, I think it's just been a road for me to kind of embrace me and my culture, and understand that it's okay for me to be both, and for me to kind of chip in, because that's the funny thing. Like when I'm talking to my friends, like I go in and out of patois all the time. Like anybody will tell you, like me, I go in and out all the time, but I always kind of try to keep it very British, because I'm like, let's be British. But then when I started to realize that my community actually would rally around me in terms of like the Jamaican community, but then it's funny because not only does the Jamaican community, but then we seem to have community from everybody. So it's just, I feel like, as you said, it's relatable content, but it's content that makes people feel comfortable, and it makes people feel just at ease, and for me, I love that.
Obviously, some of your videos have gone so viral that they ended up being on the blogs. Do you sometimes get anxiety when your videos go viral? Like, do you feel like, damn, like, can I just not upload my videos in peace?
Sorry, I remember one video that, there's TikTok trends, right? And I remember there was this one video that literally, it didn't even do that well on TikTok, personally, because the trend had kind of died out. But then a blog posted it, and that was probably the most embarrassing video, because the TikTok trend was about like doing things sexual and then remembering it, and then but it didn't go viral on TikTok, but then it went on like one of the blogs, and then people were sending it to me like, oh my gosh, and I was like, out of every video when we put on
choose
TikTok,
that one.
is this like, it's very embarrassing. But you know what, as I said, one thing I've learned from being on Bkchat, or just in general, is you can always turn positives. I don't read comments. I don't look at negativity. I just kind of post the content, and those that engage with it in a positive way, you know, I fucks with those people. Anybody has anything negative to say, I just don't really pay that any, you know, because people are gonna say what they want to say on when it comes to the social media. Do you know what I mean? So I try not to make those things bother me, but it's taken a while for me to get there, because I used to have serious anxiety attacks when I was on Bkchat. Just before the episodes used to come out on Wednesdays, I used to literally be like, oh gosh. But now it's just a part of the game. You know what I mean? It's just a part of the game. And again, I try not to read comments. You know, anything that's gonna be too negative, I just don't read that. So yeah.
So what's next for Adreyn? What are you working on? Are you working on new music, album? Let us know. Give us a tea. We want to know.
Yeah, so as you mentioned in the beginning, I won an award with the Mobo. So that's the Mobo's Unsung. I'm a part of their class of 2022. So currently I'm being supported by them, and they're doing a wonderful job. Shout out to the Mobo's Unsung
Shout out to
family,
Mobo's.
Wisdom, Savannah, the guys that won it with me, and Kanye King. So now I'm working on an album. I'm working on a very beautiful album. And you know what? Mark my words, I remember entering the competition and saying, you know what, if I do win, I want to make a groundbreaking project. And for me, like, this project is literally incredible. And I know it's biased because obviously it's me that's written and produced these songs or whatever, but I've literally put everything that I have into this project. You know, all my emotions, you know, and I think it's a wonderful. So I would like to start releasing around summertime. We're seeing how it works, but the project is called Rich Girls.
Okay.
It's a great project. I'm not gonna lie. It's a great project.
Are we expecting like upbeat, like breathe, or are we gonna get a mixture?
Like, I've never really been the type of person that sticks to one particular type of music. So this album is definitely going to be varied. You know, as I said, it's so important for me to bring the listeners on a journey. So there's upbeat ones, there's remixes, that's dance remixes. Like, there's literally so much planned for this project. So, like, Rich Girls, just remember when we start promote Rich Girls, and for 5 feet, because it's a serious project. I even have a wedding song, because I sat there and I said, you know what? I'm putting my culture in this. I said, every time I go to a Jamaican wedding, me hear there's like a catalog of songs where you hear every time you go to a West Indian wedding.
Yeah.
And I remember sitting around the piano, the one that's behind me there. I'm gonna say, I want to write a song where I would hear at weddings. And I remember that is something I said. Then I started to write the chords and, you know, write the melody and stuff. And I remember just before I recorded it, I was practicing it in my house, because it's a proper ballad. Like, it's a heavy song. It's not an easy one. And I'm sitting in my room, and my mom comes to the door. She's like, "Oh, whose song is that you're singing?" I was like, "Oh, it's mine." Mom was like, "You wrote that?" Mom was like, "You wrote that?" I said, "Yeah." "Who produced it?" I said, "Me." "You wrote that? You produced that?" I said, "Yeah." She said. So my mother's excited for that one. I sent it over to the Mobo's people a few weeks ago, and they're thoroughly impressed. So I promise you, like, this project for me is everything that I wanted it to be. And I'm not finished with it yet, but yeah, that project, that's what's next, and it's incredible.
I'm so excited for this. I'm sure a lot of us are excited as well. If you had to pick that one artist to collab with, who would it be?
Can I pick 2? I want to be a little bit selfish.
I'm intrigued. Just tell us.
So Bruno Mars.
Yes.
If I watch this, please, me, I beg you, call my phone. You give him a number. So Bruno for me is one of the most incredible talents. Like, I absolutely love his music. I love his character. I love everything about him. So given the opportunity, I would love to work with him. That's one. And Miguel, it's crazy because I get compared to Miguel quite a lot.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, Miguel, like again, he's just a wonderful vocalist,
Mm,
and what inspires me about Miguel is the fact that he, like me, is not afraid to try things. And I
mm,
remember when I heard his Wild Heart album, which is one of my favorite albums of all time, and just hearing the way that he was unapologetic in his kind of pushing of boundaries,
mm,
because we all know R&B, but he he pulled rock into it. He pulled guitars and live instruments into it, and mended, molded that with the kind of R&B sound. And it's something
mm.
that inspired me, even with songs like Mama Papa on my Illusions tape.
Yeah.
So those two artists are literally, there's so much like Fantasia. Please don't watch this, and just because whenever I say a name, start hitting me like Fantasia. I love Fantasia. Like Fantasia is my queen. But those two men and that woman.
I definitely see you on a track with Miguel. I must say, like, I'm not even saying that to gas you up. Like, I definitely see it. I definitely see you guys on a video. Like, honestly, like,
What? Could you imagine? Oh
no,
God.
I'm telling you,
Oh, that would be so buff. Oh
no,
gosh.
it would be so lit, and we gotta speak into existence because we know this is gonna happen.
Amen.
It's coming.
Amen. He ain't got a choice. I'm gonna go to LA and kidnap him.
So, another thing that I wanted to ask you. So, of course, as we're seeing right now, and we've always seen this. Like, your skin is always looking flawless. Your hair is always looking healthy. What advice would you give to some of the people out there, some of the men out there, especially when it comes to like self-care and looking after yourself? Especially that you
Um,
now have uh, like a hair care line. Like, why is it so important for men especially to look after yourself when it comes to like even with the beard and the skin? Like, it's all well and good to be telling women like look after yourself, but what about the men? Like, what advice would you give it
Facts.
to them?
You know what? I think you said something at the beginning, and I said it to my mom yesterday.
Mm.
Because I was in the bathroom for like 2 hours, but I've got a lot of hair. 2 hours is minimum time for wash a day. I'm not gonna lie to you, but um, hair care, beard care, body care, that's self care. And I think we've been conditioned, many men have been conditioned to think that taking that time out to really put energy into your hair or your skin or your face or your nails or your feet or whatever, you know, is kind of it's emasculinized or
Mm.
whatever. Um, Yo, we live in our 21st century. Please, beard, wash your face, scrub your face, um, deodorant. Like these things are self-care, bro. Like nobody not like don't if anybody is trying to embarrass you for taking care of yourself, please disown them people there. It is not, it is not a gay trait to wash your hair. It's not a gay trait to spend time on your hair. It's not a gay trait to look after your skin. Like none of these things make you any less of a man. So for me, number one, get over other people's perception of self-care, because I think that's very important. Like, so just because like somebody else you know that thinks a particular type of way, you cannot let that stop you from taking care of yourself. That's one. Two, in terms of skincare, I think, and I say this, but I don't say this in a rude way, so I hope nobody takes this personal. But enough man don't change them sheets regularly enough. And that is like, no, can I just say, like, in terms of skincare, like, you will not believe how much bacteria can be on your pillow. Changing your sheets regularly stops that stuff from going into your pores, you know. Um, find something that works for your skin in terms of like maybe like a facial scrub. I would be lying if I said like I have a routine. Like I don't, you have like these guys that go on the internet and they're like, I've got this serum, I've got this scrub, I've got this bar, I've got this.
Mm.
I don't have that. I just wash my face and I have one scrub that I pick up over the counter. Outside of that, there's not really much to it. Eat well as well. Drink water.
Mm.
Drink water. If you're out here smoking, drinking, but you're not taking, all of these things are important. So drink water, find a scrub or, you know, a regime that works for you, change your sheets, and forget what people say about your hygiene.
That is some great advice. Like, to all the men out there, please take this advice, because some of y'all, child, oh. But I want to say thank you so much, Adreyn, for coming to my platform. I had so much fun. Like, any last words? Where can they find you? Where can they find your music? Where can they find your content?
So all of my social media is the same. So it's at I am Adreyn, spelled Adreyn. I am Adreyn. All digital streaming platforms you can find my music, which is Adreyncash.
Amazing, amazing. Another thing that I wanted to basically ask you, what advice would you give to someone in their mid-20s that is out here trying to accomplish their goals and dreams, but they feel stuck? Because I feel like when it comes to the mid-20s, that's when like you have a lot of, you're overthinking about life and you're thinking to yourself, damn, like I don't know where my life is going. Like, what advice would you give to the people out there that are trying to make it happen when it comes to their journey?
So first thing I would say is time is an illusion. I think even for me, we all go through a stage where we feel like time is running out. Time is not running out. Time is an illusion. So the minute you can get your mind over the fact that you're not running out of time, there's no such thing, right? There's no such thing as running out of time. That's number one. Number two is anything you have in here, put it on paper. I have a goals board that is literally over there. And everything that I want to accomplish, I wrote on that goals board. And you have to be steadfast. When I get up, I look at that goals board and I'm saying, you know what? All right, cool. I want 200,000 streams on the next song. I find ways to put, once you have that goal, you can then find ways to kind of make it happen. Do you know what I mean? So if I say, yo, I want 200,000 streams. Okay, so how do you make 200,000 streams happen? You find blogs, you find playlists, you find, you know, promotion, you find ways in order to you make steps to achieve that goal. So I would say forget time. Time is an illusion. I would say write your goals down on a board or on a, you know, something. Put, because if it's in your head, it's a thought. If it's on paper, it's real. You know, it's tangible. When you have that, you can plan to the next step. And there was one, sorry, last one. And just be steadfast in your commitment to your end goal. You know, if you say you want to be a surgeon, for example, that is the end goal, and you kind of have to see you have to see yourself in that goal. You know, you can't say, oh yeah, I want to be a surgeon, but then I'm gonna go do truck driving. Like you have to say, you know what, I have to be willing to make sacrifices because I see myself in that goal. For me, I've always seen myself as a musician, as, you know, somebody that performs all over the world, that makes music, that charts. That's never exited my mind, no matter what I'm doing. It's never exited my mind. So everything you see me accomplish in terms of music, it's on that goals board. And anything that I do, I'm always thinking, okay, so this next step that I'm doing, how can I use it to push the goals forward? Even, for example, the promotion for the Haircare line, the song in the background that I'm using for promotion is my own song. You know what I mean? So not only is people going to be exposed to this wonderful Haircare line, but they're also going to hear a dope song and be like, let me make, do you know what I mean? So I always have my end goal in mind, and everything that I do is to work towards that goal.
Amazing, amazing. That is some powerful advice, and I'm sure somebody's going to take that and use that and just use your story. Like, your story is so inspiring, Adreyn. Like I said before, like, your journey has been so inspiring, and thank you so much for taking us on your journey, because it's been so amazing to see like your growth and how far you've come, because you have come a long way. And I know you're not done yet, you've got a long way to go. Amen. But
Amen.
It's been amazing to see, and we're so excited on what you've got going on, the new album, the haircare line, more opportunities. Like, we're so here for it, and we're so excited to see what you've got going on. And I'm so thankful for you to come and bless my platform with your presence.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for coming. I'm not going to take too much of your time, and we shall see you very soon.
Amen. Thank you so much for having me, man. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye.